Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue.
Sadhguru, nowadays we see a lot of young people are in relationships. So a public display of affection, PDA, is quite common and popular among the young generation. And it's very normal for all of us to, hug our friends or kiss our partners openly in front of others. But if we say our previous generation, they consider PDA as something vulgar. So it's very strange that how love offends someone. So my question is that whose outlook do you support? Is it the young generation or your own generation?
What makes you think you're younger than me, huh? No, I don't agree that you're younger than me. So, there are many aspects to this question. You said today young people have relationships. Unfortunately, you have come to a place where you think that a relationship means it must be body-based, there must be something biological involved. Biology is a part of our life, but the significance of becoming human compared to other creatures is, they are complete biology, we are only part biology. We have other dimensions to us, we have an intelligence, we have an emotion, we have a consciousness which is of another dimension. Biology is only one part of us. If an earthworm says, I have a relationship and both of them tangle each other, I understand. If when a human being says, I have a relationship, it could be a friend, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be a variety of relationships and also body-based relationships. So this thing about using the word relationship only with biological stuff is essentially because somewhere unknowingly, maybe because of internet, you gotten enslaved to America. It all started in United States. Relationship means it has to be opposite sex or something sexual. Why can't you hold relationships of other kind?
I'm gonna correct you on one. I mean, maybe in the parts you visited, but I mean, it usually does say that. I mean, obviously there's other relationships, but when you say relationships, there's generally gonna have some context behind it. Most of the time it does mean, body relationships, as Sadhguru would say. But because you don't say you're generally in a relationship with your mother, you're obviously in a relationship with your mother, you're obviously in a relationship with your brothers and sisters. That is, but friends, people, you don't know if you're I guess technically you're in a relationship with them like strangers. That's the relationship status between me and most of you guys. But we understand there's a relationship between you and your biological father, mother, and siblings. But friends or strangers or couples, that's unsure. That's the reason why relationship kind of goes with that. I suppose it's sisters, mothers, fathers, known relationship. You don't have to say I'm in a relationship with my mom, as she's my mother and I'm the son. You don't say that because that's obvious. Maybe that's the reason why they don't say relationships, but obviously relationships means a variety of things.
Hello? Are we not capable, I'm asking? Can't we have very intimate, profound relationships with people without fondling their bodies, I'm asking? Possible or no? Biology is not the most prominent aspect of being human. It is there. It's not something that you can, put it under the carpet. It is very much there, but it is not the dominant aspect of being human. With other creatures it is so, with a human being, the most significant aspect of who we are is our intelligence, our emotion, our consciousness. These are big things. Body is just one part of it. I am not saying you must ignore the body is there. Now when you say young people You're talking about those people whose intelligence has been hijacked by hormones. You are… when you were 10 years of age, you looked at people, everybody was fine, they were quite okay. You became 14, 15, you looked at them, every little bump on their body suddenly became a world by itself. Yes or no? You have to wait for some more time. When the hormonal thing goes down, then you look at people, again they're all looking normal. So, it's not a question of right and wrong, it's not a question of morality, it is just a question of priority. What kind of priority do you want to give to your own bodily compulsions? Now, you will see, in Delhi last 3 days I've been seeing, just now when I was coming to your college, somebody in a main street was standing there and urinating. When he feels like it, he does it. What's the problem? Hello? Any problem? No problem, because when you feel like it, you do whatever you want and you think it's your right. He also thinks it is right. When he feels like it, he urinates on the street. What's wrong? Dogs are doing it, donkeys are doing it, cattle are doing it, everybody's doing it. Be natural. This is the philosophy you're talking about. I'm saying there is a certain sanctity to relationships, especially body-based relationships. If you don't maintain that sanctity, it'll become, after some time, vulgarity, definitely. So somebody is seeing it before you, that if you go like this tomorrow, it'll lead to something else. This does not mean being a moral prude, no. But if you don't maintain that sanctity, you will regret that how relationships will become, how much pain they can bring in your life later on, you will see. So you're talking about previous generation, I don't belong to that, nor do I belong to your generation, I belong to the future generations, that's why I'm like this. The previous generation that you're talking about was a generation which came just post-independence. You must understand their reality. They lived as an occupied nation for a period of time. Some of them fought, others slinked around. Whichever way, their ideas of morality essentially was of their masters. It is British prudery that they carried within themselves. Their idea of being right is that they must be in a straitjacket all the time. You don't have to go by that, nor do you have to do something stupid in reaction to that. You must conduct your life sensibly. You must conduct your life in such a way that this will work for you for your entire life in some sense. You do something wacky today and there may be a payment tomorrow. So, why don't you think it through? What is the best thing to do? How much of what to do? Isn't it? How much of what should I do? How much of body? How much of intelligence? How much of emotion? How much of consciousness? In your life you must decide which should dominate your life. Accordingly you conduct it, it's fine. Somebody doesn't like it, they need not see it.
Sadhguru, now I want to ask you something out of the context. So when we all sat for deciding on the questions which we want to ask, a girl came up with something very, very unique which she noticed in you, and we felt it is relevant. Why is that wherever you go to, kind of preach or talk about stuff, you sit in a particular position, with sandals removed from your left leg up and right leg on the ground intact? Is it your style, or is it the way that one person should sit?
Do you still use the Indian toilet?
Yeah,
Yes. Do you sit in a particular way? asking you. I'm just asking you, do you? Why? Because the body is made like that. Today, in I forget the name of the university, some university in United States made a study and they said, this is the best way to shit. Because your thighs will go into your abdomen and press it out and everything that needs to come out will come out. If what needs to come out doesn't come out, it will slowly raise to your head.
What?
Yes. So to perform different types of activity, in the yogic sciences, we observed that certain types of body positions will support certain activity to its best. Or in other words, what is called as yoga. What is called as yoga is another different thing. What is called as hatha yoga, the physical postures, it is about manipulating the body in such a way that you get to a certain geometric perfection, that your geometry is aligned with the larger geometry of creation, so that you're always in sync, you're never off. And how balanced you are, how clearly you see things and how well you do things simply depends on how much you are in sync with everything else around you. Whether it's people or trees or life or just space, are you in sync with it or not will decide how smoothly, how friction-free is your function in the world. Now, I don't sit like this all the time, only when I speak. How I am sitting, if I have to explain, there is something called as Siddhasana. That means, there are many aspects to it. One simple aspect is the left heel. The left heel is… there is a point on the left heel that today the medical sciences are calling it as the Achilles. You heard of that? You heard of the man? Achilles? You heard of the man? You saw the movie? You didn't see the movie? Troy? You didn't see? An innocent boy. So, you put your Achilles to what is called as Muladhara or the perineum in your body. If these two things touch, many aspects are cleared out in you for that period of time. Many aspects means your thoughts are clear, your emotions are out, and there is a very clear perception of what's happening around you. You heard that Achilles was killed because an arrow was shot to his heel. You don't believe if somebody hurts your heel, you will die, isn't it so? But Achilles died that way. And there's another person who died that way in India way before him. Yesterday was his birthday, Krishna Janmashtami. He also died this way. What this is trying to tell you is, they were killed in an expert way, not just slitting your throat or breaking your head, but just putting a point at the Achilles, so they had to die. So there is a certain system, energy system in the body. If that point of Achilles is in touch with your Muladhara, when you sit like this, there is a certain balance, that you don't take any sides. See, all of us have our own opinions, ideas, ideologies, stuff, our own experiences of life. Your own experiences of life and imprints that you have taken in your mind influences everything that you see. You like this person, you don't like this person, you love that person, you hate this person. All this is because you're constantly taking positions of your own. But if you really want to know life, the most important thing is you don't take any position, you're willing to look at everything fresh every moment of your life. Absolutely fresh, every moment of your life. This is very difficult for people to understand. People who have been with me for 35 years, every day they are with me, working with me, doing so many things. I still don't have a single opinion about them. Only when I need to do some work, I may look at their competence and stuff, but I don't have a single opinion about anybody who's around me for such a long time. By now you should have formed your opinions, but I don't, because that is the essence of spiritual process, that we constantly looking at every life as a possibility. There is of course a distance between possibility and reality. Some will have the courage and commitment to travel that distance, some will not have the courage and commitment to travel that distance. But every life is a possibility. If you want to keep that possibility open, you never ever form an opinion about anybody of any sort. Good, bad, ugly, you don't form these opinions, you simply look at them right now. How are they right now, this moment? That's all that matters to me. How you were yesterday is not my business. How you may be tomorrow, let's see. Tomorrow must be created, not concretized right now, isn't it?
I had something to say about that. For me, I don't know if I can do it necessarily the way Sadhguru does it. I'm not sure exactly how he does it. But for me, I understand that I'm going to have biases towards people, but I don't act upon those biases. I understand it's there, but I don't act upon them. So, you know, especially if you get to know someone, you understand their limitations, or yeah, you understand their limitations. So, you know, if you're, say, playing any sport, you know whether they're good or not, and you can understand that, hey, you know, maybe he's not good on my team, or maybe he's the best on my team. But at the same time, you know, if they're doing it for fun, then, you know, who cares? Just do it for fun. You understand limitations. You don't act upon them. But, I mean, obviously you have to look at a bit of reality in terms of, like, you know, you don't want to, like, you don't want to be a, how do I say, the head of surgery and assign someone to do surgery work who's incapable of doing it. You want your biases there for sure. But in terms of just, I don't know how to say, if people make mistakes, people done people wrong, people are incompetent, you can kind of, how do I say, I won't say look past it, but give them another chance. I don't think that's what Sadhguru is talking about, though. The thing that he's talking about, that at least the way I look at it, is the fact that you understand that you have biases and you don't act upon it. But when you put yourself in scenarios of, like, you know, surgery, playing sports to win, you know, you kind of let those things come into your mind. It's like, yeah, that's probably a good or a bad idea.
It's a certain geometry of the body. If you manage the geometry of the body well, you must… I'm telling you, right now, people, the Western cultures are going about propagating yoga is another stretching exercise. Instead of that, you can do Pilates. Instead of that, you can do boxing. Instead of that, you can play tennis. See, if you want to be just fit, go run somewhere, climb a mountain, play tennis, do something. Yoga is not about fitness. Fitness is just one consequence. The important thing is to get the right geometry of life, because physical universe is all geometry. Now this building is standing here, whether how long it will stand, whether it will fall on our head today or will it stand for a long time, essentially depends on how geometrically perfect it is. The same goes for the body, the same goes for the planetary system, the same goes for the universe, the same goes for everything. Planet Earth is going around the sun, not with a steel cable attached to it, just perfection of geometry, isn't it? If little off geometry, if it happens, it's gone forever. And that's true with you also. If you go off your fundamental geometry, you're gone. It's very important at an early age, you do the right things to bring a right sense of geometry. Now you become competent to go through life. Those people who are thinking only good things should happen to them, obviously they're unfit for life. Because if you do not know how to go through harsh situations well, joyfully, then you will avoid all possibilities, isn't it? You will avoid all great possibilities of life simply because you want to avoid a little bit of difficulty. Only when you're geometrically in a certain state of congruence, then you're willing to go through any situation, no matter what it is.
Sadhguru, jealousy is always considered as a really cynical emotion. But to be honest, for me, it has worked so well.
What did you get to do?
It motivates me. So every time my friend learns something new, I just get this innate urge to perform better. and it's probably why I've landed up in my dream college. So, do you think that jealousy is actually a negative emotion, or does it motivate you to do better?
It's a negative emotion, straight up. Because I would say this to her, maybe. I mean, I don't know how Sadhguru's going to answer this, and I'm curious as whether my answer is even right or wrong. But I think jealousy is definitely going to be the wrong. It's going to be pretty bad because if you use that as a motivation, then you have no motivation other than jealousy. If you don't get jealous, you don't get motivated. If you get jealous, you get motivated. Jealousy can spike up to be something very spiteful, just to say. So I don't think jealousy is a very good motivator, nor a very good emotion. You should be able to motivate yourself without having to need incentives, like I think we talked about in the other video. Goals are incentives. But you shouldn't need to have a goal to incentivize you to do something. Goals are great to have, for sure, to get you in the right direction, and perhaps help you get incentivized, to get you going, to get you doing something. But you know, you should be able to do things without the need of incentives in a sense. Jealousy is her incentive, and jealousy is not a good emotion.
See, these days, fortunately, it's gone. When we were growing up, especially Diwali is coming, when Diwali comes, in small towns, one of the fun that people have is, they will make a can full of, the firecrackers and tie it to a donkey's tail.
Oh.
When it goes dum-dum-dum, poor donkey runs all over the place, faster than a horse. You think that's the way to motivate life?
There you go. Compared it to a firecracker on a donkey.
There are better and more intelligent ways of doing things. Well, when you feel like your tail is burning, you may run. People always use this thing, if a dog is chasing you, you will run really fastest. But Mr. Bolt, you know Mr. Bolt? He did not run because his tail is on fire. He runs because he prepared his legs and lungs in such a way, whichever way he runs, he is faster than everybody. Hello? Isn't that the way to run? You want to run because a dog is chasing you, you want to run because your tail is on fire, is that the way you want to run? No, that's not a pleasant way to run. See, one thing is important that you run fast. Another thing is that your experience of running is fantastic. Isn't that important? Hello? Well, you got into your dream college, but it could be hell, 3 years of hell, who knows? Is it not important that these 3 years are a fantastic experience for you? Huh? Not important? Running is not the only important thing, how you experience it. What comes out of it tomorrow? Suppose we ran because our tail is on fire, now we understand the only way to make people run is to set their tails on fire. How much damage we will cause to everybody? And I've seen these donkeys running faster than a racehorse because they're terrified. That's not the way to run. Please don't do that to yourself, not anymore, okay? Now the dream has come true.
Enjoy it. Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. But yes, absolutely a terrible way of motivation. An emotion, good emotion, should be a good motivator. You shouldn't need emotion to motivate you, however. I guess that's the thing. It's the fact that you need to be able to do things when things needs to be done. And you don't need it to have a good outcome. As in you don't need to be rewarded for doing something. Doing something on its own should be a reward, especially if you need to do it. But you know, no one's going to blame you if you work hard and you reward yourself by getting into the college that you want. But how do I say? Getting a reward at the expense of others is not a good reward. Getting a reward because of a negative emotion is not a good reward, because you're going to start, how to say, the way you start doing things is because of these things that motivate you, whether it's negative emotions. I wouldn't say, the goals as being like, oh, I have to set a goal, therefore I'm motivated. Because goals don't really, there's not necessarily anything negative behind it, unless you intend to harm people on the way to your goal. But a negative emotion, there could be repercussions for that because it is a negative emotion. But I hope I'm coming out clear, because I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself there a little bit. So anyways, do things because you want to. Don't do things because you have to. Is that even the right words to say? I have to get in this college. Oh my gosh. I want to get into this college. Let's study. Kind of like that. Obviously, there's going to be things that you need to do, and there's going to be things that you want to do. What you need to do, you need to do it. What you want to do, well, you want to do it. Just repeat it. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like taking out the trash, washing your clothes, taking care of your house or wherever you stay. All these things are needs to do's. And try to enjoy it. I mean, look, if you're going to suffer for it, if you have to do these things, try to enjoy it. If you're going to go to college or study very hard, try to enjoy it. Now, I don't know how, I know speaking is easy, and I don't know how you're going to enjoy studying, but I don't think of the reward at the end. It's like an incentive. It's like, I'm going to pass this test. I'm sorry, I'm past college now, so I just understand that that is something I needed to do, and I had to pass. I hope I did good, and that was it. Anyways, that's the end of this part 2. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down, down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.